With this recent headline with Lil Nas X and his 666 satanic shoes, definitely this is meant to play out on the world stage with this character, only 21 years old. Take a look here. Find it very interesting, the details. And it's like a game of cards with the so-called elite that are, of course, behind all of this. Where you see Lil Nas X. He was born Montero Lamar Hill. Find it very interesting. April 9th, 1999. And, of course, when you invert or flip the 3 9s, you get your 666. And actually, you get 4 9s or 4 6s here. But really, the key here is the, again, 3 9s or 3 6s. Kind of reminds me of this one photo I showed years ago from Washington, D.C. during New Year's. And you have the 1999 and the obvious reflection of the 3 9s in the water. You see the 666. So again, they love the inversion, the mirror reflection. And like I stated earlier, the elite love the numbers game. It's like a game of cards, like I stated earlier. And just take a look here where Lil Nas X was born. Lithia Springs, Georgia. And just take a look here. It's on the 33rd parallel, of course. 33, as many know that follow my channel, this is the devil's number. The highest degree in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry being 33. And it all has to do with the 1/3 or the 33% of the fallen angels thrown from heaven. Now let's take a look at this clip by CNN regarding this entire staged event. Of course, this young man here, 21 years old, has no idea what he's involved with. He's just basically a useful idiot, a puppet on a string for the elite pushing their satanic agenda. Let's take a listen.
Lil Nas X got his big break. Well, now he's riding Satan, doing a lap dance and collaborating on special Satan sneakers. What the devil's going on?
They sold out in less than a minute.
Even at a price of $1,018 a pair, a figure meant to match Bible verse Luke 10:18, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. The sneakers are Nike Air Max 97s, modified with a bronze pentagram, an inverted cross, and a drop of human blood in the air bubble sole. Lil Nas X was accused of selling his soul.
A bunch of devil worshiping wicked nonsense, pentagram wearing on your Nike tennis shoe 666. You think I'm gonna stand for that? You've lost your mind.
Now Nike is suing the art collective that created the shoes for trademark infringement, saying it confused consumers into believing Nike is endorsing Satanism when Nike did not design or release these shoes.
I'll stop right there for a second. I'll get into the occult of Nike and how they're definitely part of this pantomime. Of course, scripted to play out this way on the world stage, like I mentioned earlier.
Lil Nas tweeted a begging gif saying, "Me after the Nike lawsuit." The art collective calls itself Mischief. The sole of their shoe features red ink mixed with a single drop of human blood, blood donated by 6 of the creative team's members.
I did indeed. Yes. One of the 6. So you have this little tiny needle, and you poke that into a fingertip. You squeeze out a dozen drops in a day, and at the end of it, we end up with 666 drops.
One for each of the limited edition 666 pairs.
This liquid in the sole is creepy, man.
Social influencer Michael Mitchell reviewed.
Social influencer. What the heck is a social influencer? Someone that does reviews on shoes? Give me a break. And his name is Michael Mitchell, of course, with your MM for 33.
Viewed the sneakers, but a flood of comments like, "There goes your soul," caused him to post a new video.
I'm throwing them away, bro. Straight up, I'm not keeping this energy around me whatsoever.
He shoved them down the trash chute. But Miley Cyrus...
And I'm going to stop right here. Very important before I continue on here. Of course, with Lil Nas X having that very, of course, feminine look, as you can see here, this photo with Billy Ray Cyrus, obviously the father of Miley Cyrus, as you see here. And what they're doing, obviously, is they are inverting everything, as I mentioned earlier. As you see Miley Cyrus dressed more like a male, a boy, and very important to understand, they do everything by design, not just by random. And again, obviously just another puppet in the string. And more importantly is the coded license plate, which I've spotlighted over the years many, many times. And what stands out right away is the 239K, and I've covered it many times with the 923. We'll have to wait and see. These numbers have been present in many movies in the past, and this is something we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But for those that don't know, you could look at my other videos and have a whole video on the 923 and predictive programming. And also, as well, I should mention, with the 9 in the letter K, K, of course, is the 11th letter in the alphabet, so you have your coded 9, K, or 11. So just wanted to point that out. And also, of course, as you're going to see Miley Cyrus spotlighted wearing these satanic shoes.
Posted photos of herself flaunting the Satan sneakers. And just when Lil Nas X seemed about to apologize...
And I just want to come forward and say...
I'm going to stop right there, and you see the wings and the white in the eyes, and this represents possession, as you see here. And again, this is the aspect of the video I want to get into with the whole pantomime that's taken place where they control all of the media, all these large companies, such as you see here, Nike, of course. It's all about the occult, going back to ancient Greece. As you can see here, Nike, the Greek goddess of victory. So literally, Nike means victory. And again, when it comes down to its symbolism, I pointed this out many times in the past, worth repeating. From famous Freemason Manly P. Hall, when the human race learns to read the language of symbolism, a great veil will fall from the eyes of men. And this is so very important, so very key. This is foundational stuff that needs to be constantly repeated so people understand this aspect of the world lie satanic system we're living in. And getting back to the winged Little Nas X, as you see here, and of course the wings, as you see here on the so-called goddess, Nike. And take a look here, what you're looking at with the Nike logo, with the so-called swoosh. And basically they represent wings of an angel or a fallen angel. And the connections will be made here. Also, when you have the two swooshes or two wings, basically one on each side, and it's called the Air Jordan after Michael Jordan, you'll understand he's flying through the Air Jordan, just like the concept of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And they love Bel-Air for the simple reason, as I demonstrated before, with the founder of Freemasonry, one of the founders, Nimrod, he goes by, as you see, many names, and one of them is Bel. So it all adds up, it all makes sense for all these concepts where they, again, control all the media, all of Hollywood, all the music industry, all the world. And that gets into Ronald Reagan, of course, former U.S. president, his home here in Bel-Air at a 666 address. Later changed, they say, to 668, but nonetheless, interesting, this location. Bel-Air on 666 North Cloud Road. And here is the estate. As you see here, Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan. And obviously, you're going to make it that high up to the level he made it. You'll see here the 666 hand sign. We're, of course, told it means everything's A-OK. That's meant for the masses. The esoteric meaning and the exoteric meaning are two separate things, obviously, for the public not to understand what this means. Again, it's the 666 hand sign. As you see here, Reagan, Obama, and the fake phony Paul McCartney. And another image here, a photo of Ronald Reagan doing the same. It's all a big club of deceivers. And again, the aspect of the Nike itself. And this is where, again, the pantomime, what's happening in society with these contrived news stories, where Nike is supposedly going to sue the shoemakers mischief for using the Nike logo. And again, I really have to emphasize, this is world stage theater meant to play out. Now, one interesting aspect, getting back to Miley Cyrus, who's part of this, obviously a supporter of Lil Nas X, and going back in time, as I covered before as well, wearing the number 23 for the Bulls. They love the horn deity when it comes to the elite. And you see, again, Billy Ray Cyrus, the father of, again, Miley Cyrus, of course. And Cyrus is a very important name to the elite. It means, of course, the sun itself. And Miley, obviously, in the sun outfit. So Cyrus and sun, one and the same. But getting back to the whole Bulls and Miley Cyrus with the 23, of course, the 23, 2 3s for 33. Just take a look here at the Chicago Bulls logo. And again, always the signs and symbols in plain sight, where you see here the triple cross, just like you see here. And also with very famous Freemason, Albert Pike. And just taking a closer look at the triple cross. And Albert Pike, very well known, very famous Freemason, just so happened to be 33 in numerology, in Chaldean specifically. So again, it's all about the signs and symbols. And again, the inversion with Miley Cyrus looking like a boy, a man, and the coded, again, 239K, definitely very important. And the shoes, like I mentioned, supporting Lil Nas X. And again, the inversion, again, male appearance by Miley Cyrus, and the very feminine with the sign of silence. Of course, at 21 years old, he has no clue what he's doing. He's just a puppet on a string, told what to do. And that's what it comes down to. And this image of Baphomet, the Masonic goat god, as you see here, again, you have the male features, the female features with the goat's head, the wings, the torch itself, regarding to enlightenment. But the main thing is understanding. These are just, again, useful idiots on the world stage. And again, I mentioned how the Nike swoosh, as you see here, again, with Air Jordan, these shoes by Nike, of course, and the wing symbolism. But you don't want to stop here. There's, again, with Freemasonry, symbols have multiple meanings, as I stated many times in previous videos. Take a look here at the Saturn symbolism. As you can see, the so-called Nike swoosh and the so-called planet Saturn. And Saturn is just a wandering star. There are no planets in so-called deep space. And the sole of the shoe here, as you can see from Nike, again representing the ring of Saturn, as you can see once again. And the connection with Nike and Saturn, men's Nike Air Max 720, the Saturn midnight navy color here. And you see here as well, when it comes down to it, the Saturn symbolism, where Saturday is based on Saturn. So obviously we live in the satanic system. It's very obvious to see. And the connection, again, it all revolves around, of course, Lil Nas X and the whole debacle with Nike the company. But again, in this world system, it's nothing but a pantomime when they control both sides of each debate. And again, here with Saturn, a new look at an old devil with this book by Liz Green. And this one arcade game, Satan of Saturn. And here's the actual arcade machine itself. As you can see, a little bit of a close-up in the obvious Saturn and Saturn or Satan, one and the same. Michael Jackson here with this one album, Escape, with the Saturn or Satan symbolism in plain sight. In the Saturn game system, the Sega game system, understanding the occult you'll understand it's ages in reverse. Sega is ages. And these concepts are pushed on the masses with them having no idea, absolutely no idea what's taking place. And it goes back to Aleister Crowley, the foundation of the law of reversal. Some say it goes back to Eliphas Levi, even further back. Nonetheless, it's the law of reversal. Let him learn to write backwards, walk backwards, listen to phonographic records in reverse, speaking backwards, reading backwards. They say the Lord's Prayer backwards in the Satanic Church. So again, this is the law of reversal. And just take a look here at this one ad for the Sega Saturn game system with Ice Cube, as you see here in the cover, with the Saturn symbolism on his head. And as I showed previously with Michael Jackson, as you can see here, Escape. So they love to influence society using their puppets on a string. Again, these basically useful idiots on the world stage. And again, it's all around us. People just need to see with their eyes and they will comprehend what's happening. This, of course, car company Saturn with the Saturn symbolism in plain sight. And getting back to Little Nas X, very key, very important. Again, 21 years old. I have no doubt whatsoever he has no idea what he's doing here. He's told to do this, putting the satanic shoe, covering his right eye in this one pose, doing the same here as well with the double wings here in the upside down pentagram, the nail polish in black, and this is just sending a message that he goes both ways. That's another hidden key thing I want to point out as well. And when it comes down to being blinding the right eye, I've pointed this out many times in the past with all these useful idiots, these puppets on the world stage, covering their right eye. Just as you see here, going back in time with John Lennon, with this dandelion covering the right eye, it all comes down to this Bible verse, Zechariah 11:17. Woe to the worthless shepherd who leaves the flock. A sword will be on his arm and his right eye. His arm will be totally withered, and his right eye will be blinded. And this gives praise to the Antichrist, the one-eyed God. And this is what it's all about. And it's so very important understanding of the concept of symbolism, which is constantly being pushed right in front of our faces, and many cannot see what, of course, is right in front of them. And that, again, gets back to this quote with Manly P. Hall, when the human race learns to read the language of symbolism, a great veil will fall from the eyes of men. And another quote from Manly P. Hall, it is said that wisdom lies not in seeing things, but in seeing through things. So this is so very important. They're putting their agenda, obviously, right in our faces. It's clear to see for those that are awake to this obvious satanic agenda that's being pushed, and it's all leading again to that one-eyed Antichrist, and it's all in plain sight.
Keep us asleep, keep us selfish, keep us sedated.